Hi devs, I'm continuing my discussion of technical leadership by talking now about team unity. A lot of people believe that keeping a team working well together is the manager's job. Well, that may be one of the manager's primary concerns, but in my opinion, a tech lead has a tremendous influence on team unity. A TL's success may hinge more on their ability to keep a team working well together than on any other factor. In fact, I've seen more teams dissolved and projects fail because of poor team unity than for any other reason. This difference in perception between what people tend to think about team unity and its actual impact in practice was actually one of the primary reasons that my colleague and I put together our class on being a tech lead. In this video, I'll discuss some of the primary things that a TL can do to keep their team working together effectively. Before I begin, I suggest you pause the video for a moment and think about the experiences you have had that have either promoted or hurt the ability of a team to work together. What things kept a team engaged? What might happen that demotivates them? As you contemplated this, you probably came up with issues such as poor interpersonal communication, or some team members are jerks, or team members that don't like to work with each other. Now, these are real problems, but these ones are generally problems that a manager should deal with, not a TL. There are, however, many ways that a TL impacts how well a team works together. Those are the things I will focus on in this video. All right, let's think for a few minutes about what motivates software engineers. I think if we understand this, then we will be better able to keep engineers motivated and happy. And motivated and happy engineers are more likely to be productive and to work together well. So, what motivates engineers? You may have your own list of what motivates engineers, but the ones I've identified, both from working myself as an engineer and from talking about this with other engineers, are solving problems. Most software developers love to solve problems, but not just any problem, challenging problems. Growing and learning. I'm always happiest in my career when I'm learning new things and improving my skills. I found this to be true of most engineers. How about doing new things? Personally, I get bored if I'm always doing the same work over and over again. If, for example, I'm an expert in creating forms, I don't want to do every form in the project. I want to do things I've never done before. Or career advancement. People are generally concerned about their career, and they want to make sure that the work they are doing is contributing to their career advancement. Okay, so in addition to these personal items, though, there are a number of other items that are more about the team or the project. A few of them, for example, agreeing on goals and vision. You know, it's hard to work productively on a team when you don't agree with the overall goals or the vision, or you don't know what they are. About feeling part of a decision-making process and buying into the decisions that are made. It can be very demotivating when decisions are just handed to me without my involvement, or when my objections are summarily overruled. How about feeling appreciated and heard by the team? People want their work to be appreciated, and they want their opinions to be heard. Now, their opinions don't always need to be acted upon, but they do need to be heard and accounted for. Or making a difference and having an impact. Knowing that your work is making a difference or having an impact often makes the work more fulfilling and motivates you to work harder. Well, this is a big list, and I won't be able to cover them all in this video, but I will discuss a few things that a TL can do. I want to focus primarily on decision making and task assignments. These are two big things that I have found that have a very large impact on team unity. Now, it may not be obvious how a team's decision-making process can impact the team's unity. There are two big reasons, though, that it has such a big impact. The first is that a poor decision-making process can result in decisions that take a very long time, or in ones that are frequently reversed. I would imagine that we all have experienced both of these many times and are aware of the impact they have on morale. The second is that when decisions are forced upon people, they usually feel resentment and want to fight them, even if they agree with them. So a good decision-making process will make decisions quickly that stick, and it will involve the entire team. This process that achieves this is usually referred to as building consensus. When decisions are made by consensus, then everyone is part of the decision and they buy into the outcome. This makes it much less likely that the decision will later be reversed, and it also lets everyone be involved and heard. These are all important factors in making good decisions and in building team unity. So let's talk about how to make decisions through consensus. So the first thing to understand about consensus is that it does not mean majority vote. It does not mean we discuss it and then the most senior person in the room makes the decision. A good working definition of consensus is this: everyone either agrees with the decision or is willing to live with the decision. Now that second clause is key. It's unlikely that there will be very many decisions where everyone agrees. But as long as those who disagree are willing to live with it, then the decision can move forward. Those who disagree will still have their objections heard, and they will most likely have been addressed. To build consensus, it is important that everyone in the room be heard. It is equally important that everyone has a chance to voice their concerns and have them acknowledged. Some people will be more quiet and reticent to speak up. Others will hold their opinion if it differs from more senior or more popular people in the room. The TL needs to combat these tendencies. There are many ways to do this, but the one I like is to go around the room, starting with the most junior or the most quiet individuals and asking them for their thoughts. While they have the floor, no one else is allowed to express an opinion. The only thing they are allowed to do is to ask clarifying questions. And then make sure that you, the TL, are the last one to express your thoughts, because often your opinion will squelch all others. Then you can open it up for discussion. After discussion, once you, the TL, have a decision in mind, you can announce it and then use the same technique to give everyone a chance to voice their objections or concerns. Now, this approach works well, but it won't guarantee that every decision reaches consensus or that it won't later be overturned. But it does greatly improve the chances that all of the relevant information will have been brought up and that the team will feel united in the decision. All right, now let me talk about making task assignments. Surprisingly, this can have a very large impact on team morale. One reason it can have such an effect on morale is because it affects the learning, growing, doing something new, and career aspects of each individual. For example, giving a minor task to someone who is looking for career advancement can delay their chances of promotion. Likewise, giving someone a task that they've done many times before might seem like the most efficient thing to do because you know it will get done quickly and correctly. However, that developer may be hoping to branch out and to do something new, to learn new things. In a similar vein, giving a task to someone who has never done it before may seem very risky and like it will take much longer to get done. Well, that might be true, but it may also be just what a developer needs to stay engaged and interested in the work. Ironically, this will improve productivity, especially over the long run, because engaged and interested developers get more done. So when making task assignments, all of these personal preferences need to be taken into account. But they may be things that you don't know about. So then how do you decide? Well, before discussing my technique, let me point out that a good TL will have regular one-on-one interviews with their team members. Now, you might think that one-on-one interviews are only for managers, but a TL one-on-one can be used to discover goals, preferences, hidden skills, concerns, and things like that. They are a valuable tool, and if done casually and friendly, they can work well. Okay, so how do you make task assignments? Once again, there are many techniques, but one I have found that works well for me is to do this. First, we identify all the tasks that need to be done and write them on the board. Then we go around the room, usually once again, starting with the most junior developers and working up to the most senior. And we ask each person which task or tasks that they would like to work on. And then I write their name on the board next to those tasks. When I've made it all the way around, it is usually clear which tasks should be assigned to which developers. Now, often there will be discussion and maybe voluntary trades made among the team members until everything is assigned out in a way that everyone is happy with. But at the end, the task will be assigned to everyone. Now, when I've described this approach to other TLs, they're often amazed that it works. They typically claim that, well, the grungy, unpleasant tasks will never get assigned because no one will volunteer for those. What I find most amazing, however, is that those grungy tasks always get picked up. What is even more amazing is that the people who pick them up are usually the most senior developers on the team. I think that's because they are the ones who know that these tasks need to get done, and they know how to do them, and they know that the other team members can use the experience on those more juicy tasks. So they volunteer. And then frequently I, as the TL, will assign myself to some of those grungy tasks, especially the ones that are not on the critical path, since my time will likely be consumed in meetings or communicating with stakeholders and so on. So anyway, that's the approach I use. It has always worked for me, and I've never seen it fail. Well, that's all the time I have to discuss in this video about team unity, and this ends my series on technical leadership. There's much more that could be said. When we taught the leadership class at Google, we tried to schedule a full day for it, and we probably could have gone much longer. Before I conclude, however, there is one topic I just need to address. When I teach classes on the duties of a TL, people can be overwhelmed. So I usually end with this question. Technical excellence, productivity, team unity. How can anyone do it all? Well, the answer, of course, is that there is almost no one who can excel at all of these. So then how can a TL succeed? Hopefully the answer is obvious: delegation. Delegation may be a good topic for another video, but for now, just know that it's there, know that it's necessary, and that you will not be looked down upon as a TL if you use it. You should feel empowered to delegate anything and everything. Well, except probably attendance at meetings and answering to stakeholders. So I've seen successful TLs who delegate technical excellence. I've seen many successful TLs delegate project management. In fact, that's what I always preferred to do because I never really got good at it. I've even seen successful TLs who have delegated team unity. Just remember that when you delegate, have the people you delegate to remain accountable to you for the tasks that you've delegated and to report back regularly. But other than that, use delegation frequently and wisely. Okay, that's finally the end of this series on technical leadership. I hope you will all be successful in your careers. Thank you.